Hi, everybody, on a Sunday. Hope you're doing well. Couple things to the forecast. Last time I talked to you Friday, one of my stories was that Friday afternoon and night, we'd basically see increasing wildfire smoke come into the Willamette Valley, and then that was expected to mainly clear out by Saturday morning. Well, now we know all that smoke didn't really arrive until the day on Saturday, and then stayed with us much of the day. So that did come in. That was maybe a bit of a brown tone you noticed yesterday in parts of the Willamette Valley, but it was late if you judge it by my forecast. And then today, of course, we had solid morning clouds. This is mostly a marine deck that is now, what time is it right now? Dun, 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 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. Now I'll show you in a moment. We're getting clearing south of Portland. And not sure if all of Portland up into Southwest Washington clear out this afternoon or not. But we get past this, and then the big story is the rain chance still showing up. Now, last time I talked to you, I mentioned Monday overnight into Tuesday morning. I think I prefaced the fact that maybe the rain chance would be sped up coming in earlier. Well, that's what's happened. Now it looks like overnight tonight into early Monday morning is when the rain showers begin. Now, what you're looking at is a rain outlook of total precipitation potentially falling. And this ends, it looks like, right around sunup Tuesday morning. This is from the National Weather Service blended model. The blended model from the Weather Service, if you're not aware, is a model they came up with a few years back now. Basically, they looked at several different models, and then they wrote a model to interpolate, which is what we used to do as forecasters. But this interpolates, does the work for us between the models, and then puts out one output. So this shows Portland. I mean, this isn't a big soak, but it's some likely rain, I think is the way to phrase it. Starting overnight tonight through Tuesday morning, about a 11/100ths of an inch in Portland, maybe less than 5/100ths down in Salem. So again, that's not even enough to settle the dust really. Better chance of maybe a quarter of an inch of rain from Long Beach, Astoria down through Tillamook, lesser amounts down into Lincoln County. That's Lincoln City and Newport. And then you get a good soak, but all the way up into the central to northern Cascades of Washington, where we see over an inch falling. This does print out some traceable to slightly measurable amounts out over the Blue Mountains in northeastern Oregon. And of course, any turn where we get lower temps, rising humidity, and any wetting, if you will, at all, is good news for the firefight that our men and women are battling across our two states. Okay. So lots to get to. The Momentous Wealth podcast. You can find this library collection of pertinent investing topics to educate yourself, help yourself make better decisions. You can find the Momentous Wealth podcast on Apple Podcasts or listen on Spotify. I hope you have some of you raise your hand if you've listened to at least one of these. I've listened to several, and they're really great. Okay. Let's get you out of this and let's get you into the main event. Let's start with that same national blended model. And this is basically the future radar product moving forward. So this is 5 o'clock Monday morning, raining in Long Beach. All the areas in green are rain, a little bit of light rain down through about Tillamook. And then maybe some traceable amounts of very light rain moving toward Kelso, Longview, some rain up in Seattle. That's right from early morning tomorrow. And as I play this forward, you definitely get the idea this rain is more solid and more widespread across Washington. And then just kind of nips the northern tier, the northwestern tier, I should say, of Oregon. So again, doesn't show anything down in Eugene through about noon tomorrow or even the central coast for the most part. Now I'm going to go ahead and play this. This is Monday afternoon at 5 p.m. Now we've got some light rain moving all the way across into Pendleton, a chance of at least a trace of rain in central Oregon. But again, nothing down here in southern Oregon whatsoever, and clearly more widespread rain up in Washington. And then if I play this into, I think that's the last one this will go through. This is basically Monday late evening. Still shows some precipitation and cloud cover around the Portland area, but especially south and then up into the Cascades. There's more rain offshore. You can make the case, and I am making it, that this chance of rain at least lingers through the first part of Monday morning, first part of Tuesday morning. So again, this comes in overnight tonight through especially tomorrow morning, and then we have lingering shower chances all the way into Tuesday morning, and then that's it. Now, this is how much rainfall this same model puts out. So this is through about sunup Tuesday morning. Again, this is the graphic I showed you to start this video. about a tenth of an inch in Portland, less than 5/100 in Salem, maybe a quarter of an inch along the North Coast, maybe a quarter of an inch of moisture up around Mount Hood. Again, some rain is better than none, but nothing down here in really in Grant, Harney, Baker, or Malheur counties. And those are the four counties in the southeastern quadrant of our state where the fire activity has just been the most terrific in terms of acres burned. But it will bring in some cooler weather with some higher humidity. So still good news there. All right. Speaking of, I want to jump to fire. And again, this is our dry season. Any chance of any rain is kind of a big deal. And most of the chances to get that much this time of the year turn out to be nothing, or you only get that much. So we'll see if we get more than that much tomorrow or not. Okay, this is from the Northwest Interagency. And I think I can animate this map a little bit and kind of give you a little bit of a tour. But you count all of these emblems up, and on the right are all the named fires. You come up with now a list of more than 50 named fires. So we basically have picked up another 10 to 12 named fires over the past 7 days or so, over the past week. Still much more activity in Oregon than Washington. Now, here you can see fires burning. This is on the west slope of the Cascades, getting up into the higher country. Once you get south of Salem, the Slate Pyramid, Chalk Fire, Round Table Fire. There's been a lot of smoke from these fires that have been moving over into Crater Lake area, and you can see a lot of fire down in there, and then also in the Bend. The fires continue to be relatively small, the ones burning in the gorge. Here's the Whiskey Creek Fire that's outside of Cascade Locks. I think it's sitting at around 900 acres. They still don't have any containment. They have pretty good containment that's growing around this microwave tower fire, and that's in the gorge in between Hood River and the Dalles. So that one looks like they've got a pretty good handle on that. And then, of course, you move out. Not really anything burning in Central Oregon until you get south of La Pine. There's the Jack Pine Fire, and then the Round Mountaintop fire as well. But generally, it doesn't really get bad. I mean, the Falls Fire, that's pretty good size. And then you get out into the worst of the fires. And these are the fire footprints, they call them. So this, right here, this footprint is the Cow Valley Fire. That's the one that's burned, I think it's like 140,000 acres, something like that. But they pretty much have it contained, and it has not shown any growth. Now, the good news on this Durkee fire is, I think last Friday morning, they reported 20% containment, and that was the first time they'd had any containment lines whatsoever on this fire. This is the one that's jumped I-84 and caused closures along Interstate 84 south of Baker City at times. The containment report this morning is it's now up to 49% containment. That's huge. A lot of work to be done. Still tons of reason for concern, but they're really starting to get a handle on this thanks to the cooler weather pattern that moved in last Thursday. Now the total acreage is burned now is reported at over 288,000. Containment's up to 50%. There's another wave of hot weather coming in. I'm sure they're trying to get as much done before the forecast gets hot again later this week. But that's kind of an update on what we've got fire-wise. And again, if you're traveling south on I-5, it depends on the wind direction if you're going to get into smoke as you head down toward Medford. But there you can see it. There's Oregon. Wow. Okay. And live cameras now get some clearing in Depot Bay from the Channel House, the Gorge. There's the Dundee Hills. There's Willamette Valley. I mentioned the Willamette Valley south of Salem really starting to clear out. Willamette Valley is just south of Salem. Oregon Garden and Silverton starting to clear out. But what I really wanted to show you is the Sun River Resort camera. All of this is wildfire smoke. And, unfortunately, it's getting tougher to have a smoke-free sky in July and August if you vacation over in Central Oregon. So that's what folks over there in beautiful Sun River are dealing with. That's one of the smokier views from this camera that I have seen as of late. Now, the camera that's been often smoky is this one. This is from Aspen Lakes Golf Course in the Sisters area. And right in here where my cursor is are the three sisters. Of course, you cannot see them because of just really horrifically bad wildfire smoke. And certainly air quality concerns continue over a good chunk of Central Oregon. Okay, real quick, we have changes coming. Once it rains somewhat tomorrow into Tuesday morning, then after that, by Thursday, we start getting hot again. So I want to show you the transition. This is an air mass tracking map at 5,000 foot temperatures, if you will. And in blue, that's pretty comfortable stuff. That's this afternoon. We'll be doing well to get up to around 80 degrees. We have the rain coming in Monday into Tuesday morning. So here's Tuesday, nice and comfortable weather, air mass. This is the latter part of Tuesday. We're still comfortable. Wednesday, there's no rain chance. We're all dry. This is Wednesday afternoon. All right, so Wednesday afternoon. Now we're getting into the yellow, orange, and red colors. So this is a day that I have a forecast high of 86, but clearly Wednesday is a transition day where we start to warm back up. Look at all the real hot weather back here where the brick colored reds are in Kansas and Nebraska and Colorado. Wind flow is north-northwest on Wednesday, the day that we start to warm up. And then Thursday is day one of 90-degree temperatures. So here we are. And Thursday's the first day of August, right? Thursday's August 1. Look how the heat is building northward, all up into Montana and Canada. And we start getting into hot weather with more of a northerly flow. And right now, I've got us in the 90s on this is really expanded Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So there's Friday. Here's Saturday. Good grief. Hot weather well up into Washington. This is Sunday. Sunday afternoon. Hot weather, especially over to Idaho and parts of Eastern Oregon up into Washington. Now, I think right now, if you look at the models, Monday would be the day that we don't get up into the 90s. And if you look at this, it's still pretty warm. So, but notice how it's more of a westerly flow. See the wind barb arrows? That's why I'm thinking Monday probably holds into the 80s. Here's the way it looks like on the upper flow pattern. This is a week. See, this is tomorrow morning. See the contours dip? That's what we call a trough of low pressure. Here's the 576 contour. Remember, if you watch me all the time, I say the 576 contour is kind of the north-south line of rain chances for synoptic or cold fronts coming in. So we're north or lower than 576. That gives us a chance of some manageable rainfall. That's what the models are biting on. What's it look like later in the day? Here's the 576 contour line just south of Portland. Remember, there was no rain chance in southern Oregon, and that's why. Much higher pressure heights down there. Here's the bullseye where you see the darker blue of the cooler, probably wet weather. Remember, there was more rain up in Washington than Oregon, and that shows that as well. Now, I just want to play this in. The rain chance ends during the day Tuesday. Wednesday is all dry. Wednesday's the day we start to warm up. Thursday's the day that we could hit 90. Here's the center of this heat dome, 597 high over Colorado. So remember, that's over Colorado on Thursday. And then notice on Friday, let me go ahead and play. Well, okay, here's Friday evening. See how this upper level high is just expanded? And as it expands, it actually pushes northward. That starts sending more hot weather back to the west. And then let's see where it is on, let me just play this into Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon bullseye still over here in Colorado, Wyoming, and Utah. But enough hot weather building northward through Montana that we catch kind of the back end of that. So that's what we're watching, a little run of 90-degree temperatures. Right now, let me make sure I got the updated 2 o'clock temperatures. I do, 86 down in Medford. How hot are you folks going to be? So Thursday's the day that we really start kicking up the heat again. And look at this, 102, 102, 102 in Southern Oregon. Really hot weather, no rain chances down there. Baker City, we keep an eye on because you folks are dealing with all those large fires just to your south and some off to your northeast as well. So Thursday, let's jump to Thursday. There's the heat, 100, 103, 103. Absolutely a renewed concern for firefighters battling those blazes. This gets into very unfavorable weather to battle fires because the fires will want to spread simply because of the weather conditions. So we're keeping an eye on that. Chance of storms in there on Tuesday, by the way. Up in Seattle, let's see here. How are they going to get Thursday? Up into the 80s, 82, 85, 86. Rain chances absolutely likely up in Seattle on Monday. Notice the forecast from the Weather Service, rain and then showers in the afternoon is what they're saying. So that's a rainy Monday morning if you're headed up to Seattle. And then let's go ahead and click on Astoria this time. Rain chances absolutely on Monday into Tuesday, and then all dry in mid-70s. So again, this is a sign that there's no all-out east wind. If there was an all-out east wind, then Thursday, Friday, Saturday would easily be up into the 80s and maybe well up into the 80s at the coast. The fact that the model output is holding you folks in the 70s means you're still getting a bit of a northwesterly moderating flow pattern. Okay, here is Portland's 7-day forecast. Depends on how much sun we get. I'm still cloudy up in my home here in Vancouver at 2:15. Clouds to sun would get us up to about 80. Only low 70s tomorrow, an overcast day. Showers in the area on the radar when you wake up in the morning, and then we'll hope to get as much as we can. We'll see. Again, I'm thinking in my forecast that most areas between Vancouver, Portland, and Salem anyway have a good chance to pick up 5/100ths of an inch, with the high end being 2/10. And then we're hoping for more like Tillamook and Astoria and Long Beach pick up about 1/4 of an inch and maybe 1/4 of an inch in Mount Hood. Rain chances there Tuesday morning. That may or may not come true. Maybe it's dry by then. Certainly dry Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday, there's your warm up, and then there's your hot weather. 94 Thursday, 97 Friday. Yikes. 96 on Saturday. I have us holding in the 80s on the following Monday. All right, thanks for subscribing. Hope you tell your friends about it. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. My weather site that I use is portlandweather.com. I own and operate that, and I will talk to you soon.